This is my first overnight tramp for several years. The original plan was to go to the Horden Hut, but due to the Horden River having to be crossed several times to the hut and plenty of rain in the area over the past few days, we decided to try a trip to the Manuka Hut in the Ashburton Lakes area. We started off from the car park area at Castle Ridge Station. A few hundred metres from the car park we were out onto the open tussock country. We then crossed a low spur to the Stour River. On the way up the spur I spotted a skunk. Rather common in these areas. Skinks are rather common in these areas. This video is a skink I spotted the next day. Once down from the spur, I headed south to look for geocaches. This led me through a valley with some interesting rocks, formations, and brought me through open tussock land. After finishing my geocaching, I turned around and walked to the hut. Upon arrival at the hut, the rest of the group were hunting for firewood. After a quick cup of coffee, I joined the group to help them gather firewood. The firewood was mainly dead matagari. While cutting the wood up, at the back of the hut, I spotted a matagari bush with berries on. Here it is here. The matagari berry is a sweet, fruity tasting berry, and it was good to be able to eat a few. I think if we had been here a couple of weeks earlier, these berries would have been at their prime. So throughout the afternoon at the Manuka Hut, others turned up at the hut. There was a couple that turned up, and 3 hunters that were passing through, and then another group of 3. The couple and the group of 3 stayed the night. There was also a group of 5 who turned up from Double Hut, 5 kilometres north of Manuka. They'd come down just for a look, and they said there were lots of people at Double Hut. The hut was full and there were others staying. I think it's the time of the year. It was one of the last weekends of March. That brings lots of people out. The Manuka Hut was originally a muster's hut before it became a Department of Conservation hut, and the bunks are far from the standard height of the Department of Conservation hut, as you can see with my left foot having to be stretched quite high for the bottom bunk. The next day started a fog in the valley, but that soon disappeared when we had a clear day. Here you can see the spur we went over. On the way up the spur I spotted a little orange insect, which I decided the video seemed a little bit interesting. Here's video of the eastern side of the spur. I sort of walked up and you can see the shingle there up at the end of the tussock, and the right of that you might be able to make out the valley by that shingle. That's where the Manuka Hut is, up in there. Here we are on the other side of the spur. And looking across that spur on the little ridge line, you can see, and you might be able to make out a track. The track that we followed, sort of towards the end of the spur. And coming up, we've got a picture of some prickly high country plants, which are got the 3 of them spangled in the front. These are sharp, spiky leaves, and then at the back is with the red berries is what's called briar. It is sort of a rose bush, and then towards the right is a matagari bush. These are sometimes called Irishman. Here we have a photo of the Aerosmith Range with Lake Emily in the foreground. So we're back at the car. Tried my gaiters from Aspiring Safety for the first time. Didn't need them today, but just wore them. They make sure they work okay, which they have, so pleased with that. Thanks for that, Denty.